top-notch gloves to begin this edition of the SportsMax Zone. And the island of Jamaica has a rich history in the sport of boxing, and despite a small decline in the popularity over the past few years, the land of wood and water remains a hotbed for potential global superstars. Noticing this, President of World Boxing, Boris van der Vorst, is visiting the island in an attempt to elevate the sport to its glorious historical highs. For the past 5 days, he has lauded the Jamaica Boxing Association and the Jamaica Olympic Association for their Gloves Over Guns initiative, which uses the sport to combat violence among the youth. We're so pleased to be joined by President van der Vorst, and he's brought along with him the president of the Jamaica Boxing Association. He's no stranger, Stephen Bomber Jones. Gentlemen, welcome to the set. So good you could be with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, I'm going to start with Boris first because, you know, he's been here for some time, and I just have to ask you, how has the experience been for you?
In one word, wicked.
Wicked?
Like they used to say in Jamaica.
Did he teach you that?
Yes, they teach me. So big up for the Jamaican Federation. They've done a tremendous job in the hospitality and also the Olympic Committee. I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah, and what are some of the things you would have noticed, you know, when it comes to Jamaica and the boxing program?
It was a pretty intensive program, as I said, and I was really touched on Sunday when I saw the Gloves Over Guns project in Montego Bay. It was really heartwarming to see how the boxing can change the lives for young boys, young girls, with boxing as a tool, a powerful tool for social impact. So I was really happy to see that.
Yeah, and Stephen, this one is for you, you know, with the time that he spent over here, do you feel positive that, you know, things are going in the right direction? Because the last time you joined us and said, you know, you had a lot of plans for the organization and for the youngsters. Do you feel like his visit here, you know, recommits what he wants to get done and the plans that you have to uplift the sport?
It definitely does. You know, I'm grateful that he has come, and it's not just for Jamaica now in terms of the conversations that I don't think he's slept since he's been here, because he's made use of the 5 days, not just for myself, but my entire boxing association and the fraternity, to recognize that Jamaica as a hub in the Caribbean, yes, but I mean, his visit here, I think, would propel the activity in the Caribbean, in the entire region, and the steps that we've spoken about before in terms of having our events and having the grassroots boxing get to a point where Olympic boxing is prevalent. He endorses, and so we feel validated in terms of Jamaica and the Caribbean region because of his visit here. So I believe it's been a very good visit, and there's going to be a lot left for us to do when he leaves here, because he has brought everybody in together in terms of making sure that, first, from the boxing fraternity point of view, the directors of the Boxing Association, and he's met with the Minister of Sport, met with Mike Fennell, who he has learned a lot from in terms of just history, you know, the encyclopedia. Yeah. He's had a great relationship with him. And of course, Mr. Samuda from JOA. So yes, bringing everybody together is what Boris is actually good at. And it's proven by the fact that he saved Olympic boxing. Yeah. You know, he had to bring a lot of people together to get it to where we are now. But I mean, now the work starts and we're ready to do it.
Yeah, you know, we have, when you think time flies, because I can't believe we're in April already. There are Olympics coming up and all these different things. So what's first on your agenda when it comes to, you know, getting the work done? Because we can have all the discussions, President, and then nothing happens. I mean, you go back. How do we start executing, and what happens first?
In general, for world boxing or for Jamaica?
Well, we can do both.
For world boxing, of course, it was a quite intensive period in regards to the recognition, the Olympic recognition, which was a significant milestone for world boxing. You can say that the IOC acknowledged the enormous work that we have delivered in the last few months and years with world boxing. And it was not only the Olympic recognition, it was also Sport Accord, Aims recognition, the anti-doping, WADA recognition. But in Greece, it was the final step, was the re-inclusion of boxing in the Olympic program. Yeah. And which was really, the significant milestone, was incredible. It was one of the most remarkable comeback stories ever in the Olympic movement. A kind of a Rocky style, Rocky Balboa style comeback for boxing. And I'm very proud and pleased as a president of World Boxing, of course. But now the real work is starting for us as World Boxing. So then my next stop after Jamaica will be the World Boxing Cup in Brazil, where we need to show the world that we can deliver fair and transparent competitions, but because it's still a concern for everyone involved that the bout results, that not the best boxer hand is raised, but the most influential national federation, and that's where we have to take care for. And also we are piloting now with AI to make referee and judging more fair and transparent. So that's really key. So delivering high quality competitions. And I'm also looking forward to September, where we have the World Championships in England, the boxing capital of England, Liverpool. So yeah, for me it will be an exciting period now. We have to show the world that we can be the international organization who can take care for the sport. And in regards to Jamaica, what the positive thing, and President Bomber mentioned already, that he as a president brought everyone together these days during my visit. And also the good part is that everyone is aligned here in Jamaica. Okay. So the Olympic Committee, the Ministry of Sports, and everyone wants to contribute to the success of boxing. And that's crucial everywhere to set a good foundation for development for international competitions.
Yeah, Boris, Stephen Bomber Jones just said that you saved Olympic boxing. So for the benefit of our viewers, I just want you, in a nutshell, to just explain what has happened here, because I know the former AIBA, which became the IBA, the International Boxing Association, recognition was withdrawn from them by the IOC because of transparency issues and so on. So here came the World Boxing body, which you headed up, to replace the IBA, if you want to put it that way. Can you just briefly, for the benefit of our viewers, because I know a lot of people may have been lost on this story, how World Boxing came about and how, as Bomber Jones put it, you were able to save Olympic boxing, because it was under threat for Los Angeles 2028, wasn't it?
Yeah, first of all, Lance, it was all about teamwork, of course. It's not only me, but we brought a team together which saved Olympic-style boxing. And indeed, you're right that there were a lot of problems. Since Rio 2016, there were a lot of problems around RNGs and bout manipulation. And that was the reason why the IBA was sanctioned in 2017, in 2019 suspended, and in 2023 there was the de-recognition of IBA. And we as boxing leaders, including also President Bomber Jones, we as boxing leaders foresaw that there were serious problems for IBA. And for us it was only one reason to launch World Boxing in 2023, to save the Olympic dreams for every boxer everywhere around the world, so also here in Jamaica and in the Caribbean. And for us it was really key and essential. We were facing a nightmare as a boxing world. And there were three main issues for the IOC. One was the sport integrity, the bout results. Second, the governance. And third, the financial transparency. These three concerns we needed to address as World Boxing. And we worked incredibly hard the last two years to show the IOC, to show the world, to show the boxing community and everyone involved that we could take care of our sport. And I think that, again, that providing the Olympic recognition and the re-inclusion in boxing has showed that we acknowledge that we could take care of the sport.
Yeah, I want to press you just a little bit on that, because even while you were going through this process, there were many countries who were resisting World Boxing and pledging to stick with the IBA, even right here in the Caribbean. And some of the associations, including Guyana, when I last checked with them, would like to retain affiliation to the IBA, even while they sign up to the WB World Boxing, because it is a recognition on their part that they pretty much have to if they want to be a part of the Olympic movement.
First of all, I want to stress it is a decision that every boxing leader needs to take in every country, and he has to look into the mirror afterwards. What have I done to save Olympic boxing? And I can tell you that I have to praise the boxing leader here besides me, President Bomber, who was the first Caribbean National Federation president with his national federation who joined World Boxing. That's also why I'm here this trip, to pay respect for his wise and considerate decision. But for me, it's really crucial that we could work together with a strong group of dedicated boxing leaders. And President Jones here is also the Confederation board member, part of the Olympic Commission. So he took a lot of responsibility to save Olympic boxing. So it was really all about teamwork. And in regards to national federation who didn't join World Boxing, it's up to them. When you want a pathway to the Olympics for the qualification, when you want the part of the Commonwealth Games, when you want to be part of the Youth Olympic Games, when you want to be part of all other multi-sport events, funding for your, from your NOC, authority of your sport, then you have to join the Olympic movement. And that's my message to them.
Yeah, and I know that you have, as you just mentioned, a pretty important assignment in Brazil coming up. Is that the reason why you aren't making any other Caribbean stops? Because I know you were planning to go to Barbados as well, as part of this Caribbean visit.
Yeah, Barbados also, there's a very strong Caribbean leader, Kathy Harper, which I promised to visit. But unfortunately was not possible. It was too much, there's too much. My program nowadays is really intense and I'm really full of obligations. And I'm really happy that I fulfilled my promise to visit the Bomber Jones country in Jamaica. And hopefully I've done my best to assist, to help him. And I think what's important to stress is that the Gloves Over Guns project is a really interesting grassroots project which saved the lives of young boys and young girls. But it's also important to develop Jamaica to international competitions, and that's what we also have discussed here with Bomber Jones. That what can we do? We have to have good coaches, good equipment. We have to have good RNGs, but most of all, we need to have more international competitions. And for that reason, it's also good that the Confederation is established recently, the Pan American Confederation, to assist helping creating more international opportunities for the boxers here in the Caribbean.
Yeah, and the Pan American Confederation has Bomber Jones and Kathy Harper Hall from Barbados as part of the executive. Bomber, I listened closely to Boris, and I like the partnership that you've developed, because boxing needs help right throughout the Caribbean. I think outside of Cuba, there's no Caribbean country that can boast being a world power or a prominent figure in world boxing. I say that to say this, because in CARICOM, we've only had one boxing medalist at the Olympic Games, Michael Paris from Guyana. Can you foresee in the near future other Caribbean countries winning medals at the Olympic Games?
We definitely have the talent to win the medals. And just so you know, Boris speaking on Jamaica, grateful that he's here. But a strategic part for him coming here was also to be on this program today, because he knows he can speak to the Caribbean from here. So you know, we're just blessed that SportsMax is the studio is here in Jamaica.
Yes,
so you know, it was like he has a very, very full plate. So, but the fact of the matter is, he's left here setting targets. So we're grateful that we now have a confederation and with great board members, including a good lead, president. And just like other confederations in Europe, we have pledged to be the #1 confederation. You know, so the fact of the matter is, Boris will set the targets, and then he'll leave us with the work to make sure it gets done. And one of the main things is basically to make sure that we have Caribbean members in the Olympics. And in order to do that, we have to have high-level competition. And so we're going to have more exchange programs between the Caribbean regions, because we do have the talent. So basically, while it is that we've spoken very, very frankly, and we see the talent here, we know the talent, Boris has seen it, and seen the passion of the coaches. But what we need to do is, as you know, we've certified some national coaches on a certain level, but we need to upgrade those coaches. So World Boxing, through Boris, you know, and the Confederation working together, will have to get those coaches upgraded by higher level coaches coming here, coming to the Caribbean, and we're all coming together. And then between now, the roadmap between now and 2028, as Boris is saying, goes through the Youth Olympics, goes through the Commonwealth, but guaranteed, not just Jamaica, we will have more than just Cuba being known as a world power in the Caribbean region.
Yeah, because the Caribbean Boxing Championship is not as vibrant now as it was maybe 15 or 20 years ago. And I suspect that based on the discussions you've had with the new Pan American Confederation, that will also invest into a platform for more active regional competition. I know that St. Lucia has David Christopher is the president in St. Lucia. They have a very active boxing program as well there. In fact, I think there was a team that went to a Guadeloupe championship just last weekend. So there is the need as you just said, because most Caribbean countries have produced at least one world boxing champion. Antigua and Barbuda has had a world professional boxing, of course. St. Kitts and Nevis, Livingston, Bramble, who just died last week. He really represented U.S. Virgin Islands. Guyana, Barbados, well, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, all have had professional boxers who have won world titles. So
enough potential.
yeah, so it's a fact that there is a talent here that can transform into world champions. And it's great, Boris, that you are here. And as Bomber just said, being on the SportsMax Zone, you're speaking to the rest of the Caribbean to inspire the movement towards getting boxing back to where it had been maybe 2 decades ago.
Yeah, but I think it's also important to stress once again that President Bomber has set a great example also for the rest of the Caribbean national federations, with the alignment with all the stakeholders involved here in Jamaica, the NOC, the Ministry of Sports, also some corporate sponsorships to support his development program. And I think that's a great example. And he is also willing to reach out to other national federations. We discussed it, to organize international competitions. Last weekend, the few boxers from the Cayman Islands were also here for the monthly future events. So I think that's these great initiatives needs to be highlighted.
Yeah. Well, what's for sure, Stephen, is we're going to be holding you accountable. He gave you a list of things to get done, so we're hoping that yeah, you can get that done, and then we can, be proud of our boxers around the Caribbean, because I can only imagine if we were to medal at the Olympics, like, what that would mean to all of us. And what's very common in the Caribbean is we celebrate each other. So it doesn't matter who is in the fight, literally. Once it's a Caribbean person, we will be rooting for them. So
and also good to back to the great events like we spoke yesterday with Mr. Mike Fennell about the event that he brought to Jamaica. Frazier, Foreman, those kind of events will be great at the boxing.
1973.
Speaking about boxing history.
Yeah. Well, we're looking forward. So, gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for stopping by. I know you've been busy. Thanks again, Stephen. Don't be a stranger.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, and we look forward to talking to you again soon.
Keep punching.
Yeah, I think I want to go down and start learning to punch, in case I need to punch for reasons.
Okay, I understand.
All right, thank you so much, President. Thank you so much, Stephen Bowman-Jones. We're up on a break here on the SportsMax Zone, but don't go anywhere. We have a lot more in store just for you.